hope you all are safe at your home, right? Okay, today we will discuss our first chapter, Living Word. In the previous lectures, we had discussed about the basic concept of biology simply, right? Today we will discuss on our first chapter is the Living Word. Actually, this is also a kind of basic of your biology. Simply, you can say that as the name indicate, living world, the word which is living, the study, the living word is called simply biology. So, how can first question is arised after this name is how we can differentiate between living and non-living organisms simply, or living and non-living objects simply, you can say that what is the difference, how we will say that, and on which basis we will tell that, we will told that it is a living or it is a non-living, on which basis you can say this. First, the basic concept which we will observe is the growth in both in living organism. Firstly, I will tell you growth simply because the living organism always show growth simply. How you can see the growth, the plant which is a small plantlet is converted into herb, shrub and tree, it is a growth simply, right? But one exception is there for the growth also, I will tell you. The mountains, they also show growth from smaller to the larger because of the you can say that the movement of the earth simply, you can say that they also show growth, so they are living. You can say that mountains are living, no, we cannot say that mountains are living, we can't say even the mountains are non-living in nature. Why they are non-living in nature? Because of these points. I will discuss these points one by one. Firstly, I will complete it. The first point is the growth. Actually, growth means all living organisms have capability, because cell is the fundamental unit of all living organism. So cell division is occur in case of the living organism, it does not occur in case of the non-living organism. Cell have capability to divide and form, one cell have capability to divide and form the two daughter cell. This is the character of living organism only, not is present in the non-living organism. Generally, cell division is of two types, mitosis and meiosis. Meiosis, right? What is the meaning of mitosis and meiosis? In that kind of cell division, when the number of chromosomes, all the living organisms have a cell, cell have a nucleus, nucleus have a chromosome simply, which transfer the character from one generation to another generation simply, right? So mitosis is the character of cell division in which number of chromosomes are same in the daughter cell as the parent cell simply. For example, there are 46 chromosomes. 46 chromosomes are divided into the daughter cell simply. So, it is the equational division, you can say that, in the living organism, which is equational, means number of chromosomes are not half in case of mitotic cell division. Next is the meiotic cell division. It is a reductional division. Why it is called reductional? Because the number of chromosomes become half in the daughter cell in case of meiosis. It means if the parent cell have 46 number of chromosomes, then daughter cell receive only 23 chromosomes. So that kind of cell division is called reductional division. I will told you simply is that this is another chapter in your syllabus. We will discuss in detail about the cell division in later on, right? Firstly, I will told you about the growth only. This is the growth of a living organism. It means living organism show the cell division, the growth. Because of cell division, we will grow, right, simply. But this cell division does not observe and does not done with the non-living object, you simply say that. So mountains show growth, but they are non-living because the kind of cell division does not occur in the non-living object as in the living. Same simply I can told you that I am telling that the living organism have capability of cell division. Non-living object does not have that kind of cell division simply, right? So that's why we cannot tell that mountains are living simply. Next most important after the growth is the reproduction. The reproduction is generally performed only by the living organism, not by non-living. You know very well about the reproduction. It is of two types. First is the sexual and next is the asexual. Asexual. What is the meaning of sexual? It is always a biparental. Biparental, it means it involves two parents, male and female, means male and female gamete. Different gametes are received from the different parents, and the fusion of that gamete produce a progeny or a new organism, and that kind of reproduction is called sexual reproduction. Again, this kind of characters does not given by the non-living object. In that kind of reproduction, the characters are generally changed because it is a biparental. You can say that the characters are not same as the parents, because in that kind of reproduction there is a mixture of characters of both the parents, or you can also receive some character from your forefather also. So sexual reproduction is in case of sexual reproduction there are variation in the characters. But in case of asexual reproduction, because it is a uniparental, only one parent have capability to divide into the daughter cell, or you can say that have capability of division. For example, binary fission, multiple fission, right, and fragmentation. All these are the example of asexual reproduction, right. In that case of reproduction, the like you can say that the progeny, the next generation progeny is identical as the parents, same identical as the parents, because it is the division of the parent body. For example, this is the parent body and this is the binary fission. In that case, these daughter cell identical to the parent cell. So in case of asexual reproduction, the progeny are identical to the parent simply. So this is about the reproduction because we will discuss the character between the living and non-living simply. So this character is generally performed and given by only the living organism, not by the non-living organism. So on the basis of reproduction, we also say that about the living and non-living. Next is the metabolism. Living organisms show metabolism only, not non-living organism. What is the meaning of metabolism? Metabolism means formation and destruction. It means catabolism and anabolism. Simply, it means metabolism is the composition of catabolism and anabolism. Catabolism means dissociate. The complex substance is dissociated into the simplest form is called catabolism, and anabolism means the simplest substances combine to form a complex substance. For example, catabolism, glucose is dissociate into the energy and CO2. Anabolism means process of photosynthesis. For example, CO2 plus water plus inorganic substances combine to form a glucose. So simplest to complex, complex to the simple, right. In our body continuously this metabolism, or you can say that simplest form, composition are converted into complex, and complex are converted into simple according to the requirement of your cell, tissue and organ. So this catabolism and anabolism collectively called metabolism. So this process is also performed by the living organism only, not by the non-living. So on the basis of metabolism also we can say that we can differentiate between the living and non-living simply. So this is the next character. Next is the consciousness. This is a very important character for the living. It is present only in living, not in non-living at any cost. Consciousness or self-consciousness, you can say that it is present only in the living organism, not in the non-living organism at any condition. At any condition, non-living organism does not produce self-consciousness. Now what is the meaning of self-consciousness? Simply, actually living organism give response to the external stimuli simply, right? External stimuli, what is the meaning of external stimuli? You had learned this stimuli, about this stimuli in the previous class, in the 10th class, in the nervous system. External stimuli means foreign particle. We will give response against the foreign particle. If I will pinch you a pin, or with any other external object, with I will hit your body or your body organ, then you will definitely give response against this external particle. So this is the external stimuli. A pin is pinching, or you can say that fire during reflex section we had discussed about a example about the burning candle. If you will put your finger near the burning candle, you immediately put back your finger, because to avoid the burning, simply avoid your finger to burn up, right? So this is the consciousness which is given by the living organism only. If you will you have a small piece of wooden, and you will you put this wooden block into the burning candle, or near the burning candle, you will take it near the burning candle, it will burn up, it will not give backup simply. So on basis of this consciousness, we will say that the living organism have capability of growth, reproduction, metabolism and consciousness, because living organism have a brain have a capacity to understand the external temperature of external environment, pressure of the external environment, and the various barriers or external particles or foreign particles. Your brain can do response, your brain is doing response. Yes, simply you can say that our brain is doing response against the foreign particle. This is called self-consciousness. One more example I will give you, that our body have capability of homeostasis. Homeostasis means our body, we are warm blooded simply. Human being is a warm blooded. Warm blooded means our internal body temperature is fixed, but we know that external temperature is always variable in nature. So according to the external temperature, our internal temperature does not change, because we are warm blooded. But our body give responses according to the variable temperature. For example, if temperature raise very high, simply during the summer the temperature is very high, at that condition what will your body do? Our body will sweating at that condition, at that environment, at that humidity, right? Simply during the different temperature, our body give different responses. Simply during summer we will do sweating, because due to sweating, due to evaporation of water, our body become cool down and our internal body temperature become maintained. And during the summer we will do shivering, because due to shivering there is heating, because shivering is a exothermic reaction, and at that condition energy is released, and due to this energy, simply you can say that our internal body temperature is maintained and our internal organs maintain their function at that temperature. So we need to maintain our internal temperature. What will happen if you will get a fever or a temperature? At that condition, what will your body give responses? At that simply you observe that during, if we go attacked by a fever, or we will attack by any microorganism and any other viral, you can say that our body give a heat up, our body become heat up. Why it become heat up? Because if the temperature, the more temperature is affect the, because the high temperature affect your internal organ simply. So at that condition, if the in your inner side of your body microorganism attack your organs and organ system, at that condition your body start heat up, so that these microorganism and pathogen become kill at that temperature, and your organ and organ system or tissue becomes safe at that condition. So all these process and all these characters are not present in case of non-living organism. Simply my motive is that I will give the differences between living and non-living simply, and you know that about the living and non-living, what is the feature of living and non-living. So these the characters which are generally performed by living only, not by non-living. So the chapter name living world indicate this, how we will differentiate between living and non-living. On the basis of these character we will differentiate simply. Further topic is not related with this, this is related to the living and non-living. This is generally the proceed, you can say that, how if firstly we now we know that about the living and non-living. Now how living organism are divided and classify and taxonomy. So in the further lecture we will discuss how living organism are differentiated into class, order, what is taxonomy, how we will give the name of the living organism, or you can say that nomenclature, how all these things are arise earlier, right? So we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you.